Biosecurity in the poultry industry. Dr. Gary Butcher demonstrates biosecurity methods at a poultry research facility.
We're going to be entering a poultry research facility and basically demonstrate the various steps that need to be taken as far as biosecurity goes to enter this facility. Right now I'm standing in front of the poultry research facility here at the University of Florida. And as you can see here, this is the entryway. This building is positive pressure, which means that every step of the way you enter from room to room, you go from a lower pressure to a higher pressure, so there's always air blowing out. And the positive pressure means that we're trying to keep diseases from getting in. We're not worried about diseases inside getting out because there are no diseases. It's disease-free, but we're concerned about diseases getting in. So the first step that you would do when we enter the facility, we're required to have a security keypad to enter, and I'm going to go ahead and enter that now. And then enter the facility here. Okay, I've entered the facility now, and the first step that you do would be you have to remove your outside shoes and keep them near the door. And I'd be required to put on the flip-flops that we provide here. I'd also be required here to remove my coat and basically leave the coat at the door. As I enter also, I'm required to fill out the log that indicates that I've entered the facility. I've got to put the date, my name, the time that I've entered here, which is about 9:25, and then I have to initial it. Okay, after filling this form out, which logs everybody that enters the building, I then have to go over, and we have a security system here, and I have to come over here and enter. I have so many minutes to enter the code into the security system and deactivate it. If this is not done within a certain amount of time, it will send a phone message out to the research person who's in charge of the project up in Georgia, who will then make contact with myself or with my assistant Anna to ensure that some person that's entered is the appropriate person. From here, I will walk along and enter into the shower facility. As you can see here on the floor, there's lines. And these lines are telling us where we're allowed to step at different phases. Since I entered right here, all I have on are the flip-flops. I have to stay on this side of the line, and I'm going to now enter into the showering facility, which is located here. In this facility, we have a shower, we have clothing that has to be worn before we're allowed to cross onto this side of the line, which is on the side that's closer to the animals. So I'll be entering here, and I'll be coming back out in a few minutes. In this room here, we have several containers that contain the towels and coveralls. Over here is where the containers are for the used coveralls and towels, so they can be laundered. Provided in a packet that has been laundered here on the site. And now I'm going to enter over here into the showering facility and take a shower, which requires you to use some shampoo, soap, and then put on these dedicated clothes. I just come out of the shower facility. I have on the dedicated clothing that can be worn inside the facility. I'm now able to step across the floor onto this side of the line and stay on this side of the line. As you can see right now, I'm going to be in the process of prepping myself to enter the room. To prepare myself, I have to first of all put on these disposable booties. And as I put these things on here, within this line, there's a square here. And once we put this clothing on, we now have to stay within this box. I guess these lines here are somewhat arbitrary, abstract, I guess more or less you could say, but this is the program that's required. And I have to say, we've been doing this now for over 4 years. We haven't had a single disease contaminant enter the facility, and so the program is working. So put these footwear on first, and then I have to put on the hat. Then I have to put on the coveralls, and we have one of these for each of the animal rooms. They're dedicated. Once again, notice that I am staying inside the second line of security here. Put on the face mask to enter. Try to talk a little louder so you can hear me through this. And then also put on the gloves. So as you can see here, so far we've entered into the front door that's just positive pressure. Gone through the showers, removed our street clothes, shoes, put on the dedicated clothing. Now we're into the next level here. We're putting on the next layer of security. You can see it consists of the boots, disposable coveralls, the gloves, the masks, the hat, and then there's also a foot bath here. Disinfectant foot bath. I'll step into before I enter the facility. And then each room has to be maintained locked separately. And before I enter also, notice that there's a log kept here where the temperatures and who enters and such is recorded. So we know everybody who steps into this room and what time they come in and what are the conditions when they enter. You get the temperature data off the recorder right here as we enter. So we'll enter the facility here, and as you can see now we're entering into this room. This room is positive pressure. We'll go ahead and come on in. Within this facility here, we have the individual isolators with the chickens in each one. And these right here are isolators that have HEPA filters. So the air will enter in through this side, pass through a HEPA filter, enter across the chickens, go across the chickens, then pass out through another HEPA filter, then pass out the HEPA filter through this hose, and then be exhausted outside. Once again, there's no diseases in here. Our objective is to prevent anything coming in. To work in these facilities here, you basically have these gloves, and you're able to work inside these units fairly easily. There's gloves on both sides. Inside these units, the chickens have free access to water, to feed, basically everything they need. Lights controlled, temperatures controlled, they have one pass air, and we can do everything we need, whether it's taking blood samples, handling the birds, whatever, through the use of these gloves.
How are the chickens fed?
Whenever we want to pass food in or to remove anything from the isolator, we have a pass-through port here. There's a door on this side, and a door on the inside. And basically, before we would open this up, we would open up the side vent here, spray disinfectant into it, wait 5 minutes, then we'd be able to open up this side right here like this, and pass in the food or whatever we want to pass in. And we would then close it up, open the port back up, spray disinfectant into the unit, into the box here, wait 5 minutes, and then we would go over here. We have another door right here that we can open up and allow us to bring the material into the unit. So any food or anything, any equipment that needs to go in will pass through this security port. The same thing applies for removing the manure at the bottom of the cage.